How to upload and download files on SES Cloud. Hello everyone, today I will show you how to upload and download files on the SES Decentralized Cloud Storage Network. There are two situations for uploading and downloading files. The first case is that the user deploys the gateway by himself, then uploads and downloads files through his own gateway. The second case is that the user does not deploy a gateway and has to use someone else's gateway to upload and download files. Let's talk about the first use case. Users upload and download files to the SES Decentralized Storage Network through their own gateways. The first step is to navigate to GitHub. On the GitHub page, search for SES Gateway, click Enter the library of SES Gateway. Now scroll down to find README. The front part of the README describes how to deploy the SES Gateway. I have recorded video tutorials, and I'll add the links to those tutorials below. Let's scroll down to the How to Use the Gateway section. Now we're going to use the Linux remote connection tool to connect to the server where the gateway has been deployed. Use ls to query. You can see the gateway program here. This indicates that the gateway has been deployed on the server. Go ahead and enter the gateway and switch to root privileges. Before uploading the file, use the command line query space to check whether the gateway has enough space. From the returned result, you'll be able to see that the gateway has a total space of 10 gigabytes. This can be used to upload files, and the used space is 0. If you don't have enough space, go on and purchase some more storage space. The second step is to generate a bearer token by requesting through the gateway. There's a step-by-step guide here. It has all the information about how the token is generated, what it does, and how to use this token. Let's go ahead and copy the command line for applying for a verification code to the gateway. Then change the URL and email address to the user's own information. Currently, for the SES test network, the URL is http://127.0.0.1 and the port number is 8081. Now let's log into the mailbox in the browser. We're going to fill in the email address in the quotation marks after the mailbox. The first time captcha will show 0 by default. Once you press enter, you can see that the application verification code is successful. The return result will be 200. This means that the operation has been done successfully so far. Here are the instructions. Now go to the mailbox to get the verification code. We're going to use this verification code to apply for a bearer token from the gateway. Apply the captcha for the second time and fill in the 6-digit verification code received in the email. Press enter. You can see that the return result is 200. This will indicate that the token application has been successful. You will now receive a long string of tokens in your mailbox. The third step is to upload files to the SES network through the gateway. You can upload or create a file locally on the server before uploading that file. I'm now going to upload a file. After uploading that file, use the ls function to view the file. Next, we will upload the file to the SES decentralized storage system. Copy the command line so you can upload the file. Then modify the URL, the file name, and the token information. You can rename the file, and the file will be stored with this name in the SES storage network. I'm naming it test here. Next is to change here to the original file name that is used for your file to be saved locally. For mine, it will be file test.mp4.mp4. Then replace the token with the token code received in the mailbox earlier. All you need to do is copy and paste it, and then press enter. The return result is 200, and there's a file ID starting with SES prefix. This means that the file fingerprint of the uploaded file has now been uploaded. Now we're going to check the status of the uploaded file. In order to do this, we need to copy the command line for querying status. Now we're going to change the URL and its file ID. The file ID is the long string with the SES prefix in the return result above. After modification, press enter, and you can see that the status of the file will be pending. This means that the file is currently uploading. At the same time, we can also go to the SES Blockchain Explorer to check the status of the uploaded file. Now we're going to click on Chain State in the Developer menu. Select File Bank in the drop-down menu, and select the file in the second drop-down menu. Now copy the file ID and query in the bytes column. You can see that the return result is the same as the command line query result, and the file status is also pending. Here you can also see that the file index is 35, the file name is test, and the file upload generally takes several minutes to dozens of minutes, depending on the size of the uploaded file. Next, I will show you how to download files. Let's go to the SES Blockchain Explorer and let's find a file which has an active status. Here's one. Copy the command line for the file download. Use -O to rename the file. Here I name it download. Let's now change the URL, and finally we're going to change the file ID. Once you've done that, copy and paste the file ID to be downloaded, and then press enter. You'll now be able to see that the download is in progress. The download has been completed. This file is 465 megabytes, and the download only took a few seconds. Check the directory with ls. You can see that the file download.mp4 is already in the directory. The download has been successful and the speed has been quite fast. Now let's use the command line and check the status of the previously uploaded file. You can see that the state has changed from pending to active. The file has been uploaded successfully. This process took a few minutes. Finally, let me demonstrate the operation of querying the file directory on the query list of all the files under the user token. This is going to be the same procedure. We will need to change the URL and the token. Replace the token in the command line with the string that was received in the previous email. You can see that I have only uploaded one file under this token, and the string with the SES prefix is the file ID. Of course, we can also go to the SES Blockchain Explorer to check the previously uploaded files. All you need to do is copy the file ID and paste it on the bytes column. Click the plus sign there. It can be seen that the file uploaded not long ago has been successfully saved to the SES cloud storage system. Its status has become active. This means that others can start downloading the file. It can also be seen that it is distributed and stored on these storage miners. The file size is about 70 megabytes. Now I'm going to show you the second case. Here, the user does not deploy a gateway and needs to use someone else's gateway to upload and download files. We will demonstrate with another server without a gateway installed. First, you need to log on to this server remotely. Once this has been completed, you need to switch to root privileges. Very similar to the steps we showed earlier, you will need to request a token from the gateway. The first step is to copy the command line for applying for the verification code. The main difference here is that the URL is no longer the one that starts with 127. It should be changed to the public IP of the gateway you borrowed to open this port. Here, I'll fill the IP of the server with the gateway from earlier. This is the IP address that shows in this 103 window. Don't forget to add http:// because the gateway borrowed is also open on port 8081, so fill in 8081 here. In the quotation marks behind the mailbox, you also need a mailbox to receive the verification code and token. Fill in a new email address and put 0 after the CAPTCHA. Now you will receive a 6-digit verification code to your mailbox. We will use this verification code to make a second request. Once you press enter, the result will be 200. This means the request has been successful. Once you return to the mailbox, you'll receive a new email. This will contain a string of a token in it. The user will now be able to perform a series of operations, such as uploading files, downloading, and deleting through this token. These operations are the same as the previous file upload and the file download through your own gateway. The main difference is that the URL will be different. When operating through your own gateway, you will use the intranet IP uniformly. You will borrow someone else's gateway to fill in its public network IP. Borrowing a gateway in this way requires obtaining the gateway's public network IP and port in advance. It should be noted that uploading files by borrowing the gateway occupies the storage space of the borrowed gateway. Transactions such as uploading on the chain will also result in the borrowing gateway incurring its gas fees. This is a complete tutorial of how to upload and download on SES. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below.